Good night, everybody, and welcome to the Chancellor Hall Compounding Wealth Seminar, where we will be educating you about some financial tips about how you can plan for your future, how you can invest adequately in stocks, and how you can make the best financial decisions to make that brick upon brick session and compound your wealth. So today I'll be joined by two gracious presenters, and I hope that everybody who is on the live now and who can see the recording can everybody who will see the recording will be able to learn something valuable from this seminar and plan for them future and build them wealth, because that's the aim of the session. So first good night, Mr. Cadell Green, our Chancellor Hall Chairman, who will be giving our welcome. All right, so good night, everybody. Welcome to the first part of it, where the opening words will be given by Cadell Green, the Hall Chairman of the most noble fraternity of Chancellor Hall, to welcome you to this informative session and put you in the mood to learn and get the best information to plan for your financial future. So Cadell, your time now.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. And I want to welcome you all to this here forum on compounding wealth. We here at Chancellor Hall for many years have always put at the forefront of our planning and understanding in our youth that, listen, for you to really manage yourself through life, through university or wherever, there must be an understanding of how you manage yourself financially and how you ensure that while managing yourself financially, there is some growth that is obvious and rewarding. I think.
Okay, hello? So thank you, Mr. Green. Yeah, man, we're hearing you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I got stuck just now a while ago. Wi-Fi. Right. So I want to welcome you all to the show, and I do hope that you enjoy what we present here and you take as much away as you can.
All right, so thank you, Mr. Green, for that welcome. And as you said, hope everybody is prepared for a night of learning, a night of engagement. So going right into the program, our first guest speaker for the night, who will be speaking on the topic of wealth creation, is Miss Venice Parchment, Senior Financial Advisor of BPM Financial Services. Now, Miss Venice has been a dynamic member of the BPM Financial team for 15 years. In her role as Senior Financial Advisor, she has a track record of helping a wide cross-section of people to achieve their financial goals through proper money management and solid investment. Miss Venice is currently the co-host Mela FM Radio, every Mika Muckle, because every Mika Muckle in Jamaican, Wednesdays at 8:05 a.m., where she shares advice and real stories that aim to build nationwide financial literacy. Venice organizes and facilitates workshops, seminars, and presentations, both at 8 p.m. and BPM and financial and island-wide, to build awareness about proper money management and how to make wise investment decisions. As a committed Christian, Venice is very passionate about serving people and places great emphasis on providing exemplary and focused customer service. So it seems like we have a person who is very experienced with us tonight, a person who will be giving us adequate knowledge, and a person who has been very well versed in financial sector. I'm a cricket ambassador myself, and my knowledge can't hold a candle to what she will impart on us tonight. So thank you, Miss Venice Parchment, for joining us tonight and giving us some great advice on how we can build our wealth. So take it away.
Okay, well, thank you very much, first and foremost, for an opportunity like this to really present to you all. And at the end of the day, I am sure you're going to learn something more, probably things that you know already, but it will help you to probably remember, enforce, and to put in place the things that you need to do to create more wealth. And that's the aim of everything, right? To create more wealth. So in so doing, we're talking about compounding. So let me start there first. Compounding is one of the most powerful tools in the universe. It means that when you have your principal and it's able to create interest, and then you take the interest and put it back on your principal, and it becomes a bigger, a larger principal so that it earns more. I keep on doing that. It's like a snowball. Imagine a snowball. It falls, the droplets, then you roll it and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until what happens? You're going to eventually have to break up that snowball into smaller balls. And what you're going to do with the smaller balls? You're going to create more wealth. You're going to give some to your friend, your family members, just about everyone that you meet, because you have enough to share. So we start there at compounding. Compounding, which I said was the most powerful, is the most powerful tool in the universe. But in compounding your wealth and climbing up that ladder, what is it that you really need to do? You need to understand some basics. And the basics to create more wealth is really to understand inflation. So if I had a live audience, I would probably ask you, what is inflation? How does it impact you, your life, your money? What is inflation? Now, I like to say inflation eats away the purchasing power, like how Chichi eat out board. Anybody understand or know what is Chichi? Now, the thing about Chichi, why I like to use Chichi, because Chichi have a way how to eat out the underwood or the underside of the board, the wood, the table, whatever it is, and leave the surface up. So it appears as if it is still there. But guess what? It is eating out the purchasing power from your money. So Chichi and purchasing power, inflation is the same thing. So think about you seeing the table, it is there, and then when you come back, you lean on it, it breaks down. So what am I really saying is that inflation in eating out the purchasing power from your money is like having $1,000 in 2004, right? How many loaves of bread would you be able to purchase in 2004 with only $1,000? I bet you can't get the answer, but let me help you. In 2004, would you believe that you could buy 13 loaves of bread? Now, today, even if you put that money, that $1,000 under your mattress, yes, you dig a hole and put it in there, you carry it to the bank, you lock it up in a safe, you get 2 strong bodyguards to watch it. Better yet, insure it with JDIC. Now, when you wake up today with the same $1,000, how many loaves of bread would you be able to purchase today with the same $1,000? I know you know the answer. So yes, you can buy only 3 loaves of bread, and depending on where you are, 2 loaves. So what happened over time? Over time, inflation eat away the purchasing power. And so over time, you are buying less bread, and soon 2, then 1, then none. So basically, that's what I'm saying about inflation. It eats away the purchasing power. So where am I going with this? Basically mean that when you invest your money, you have to ensure that your money beats inflation. Yes, it is very important for it to beat inflation, because if it is behind inflation, then you are losing purchasing power and you're buying less bread. So for example, a matter of fact, let me ask you, do you know what is the rate of inflation? Maybe you don't know, but let me tell you, right now it might be at 4.7% per annum the last time I checked, and it could be more, but let us leave it at 4.7. How much interest you're getting on your money in the bank? Think about it. 0.5% before tax. So if you start out investing or saving behind inflation, it means that years to come, you're going to be buying less and less goods and services. So what I'm saying is that if your money is not working, earning, or growing to beat inflation, you're money lazy. So we reach to the money lazy. We need to ensure that our money is working as hard as we do. Because if you don't do that, then what you're basically doing is putting down your money to sleep. And then you wake up next month, next year, and you find that you don't have enough money. So how is it that you're going to create wealth if you're not letting that money work and earn for you? Think about your money in three different categories in order to create wealth. I like to think of it basic: short term, medium term, and long term. So your short term plan, how long you think is short term? I find it very funny when I say that all the time, how long is short term? But short term should be, let us say, short term is 1 to 2 years. That means if you keep your money longer than 2 years, it's not really short term. A matter of fact, personally, I think that 2 years is too long for short term. Short term means that you should have it for emergency, backup money, just in case something happen, kind of money that you're going to need soon. So you're not going to create any great amount of wealth, but if it is paying you more than what you're getting at the bank or the credit union or under your mattress, then your money is kind of working for you. Really lazy because you know that you're going to keep it for short term. How about medium term? Your medium term plan, I believe, should be 3 to 5 years. Now, it can be longer than that, but medium is medium, 3 to 5 years. And when you invest in stocks, for example, stocks over time will make more money. And we're going to touch some more about stocks and what is stocks and how it's going to work for you. But medium term is 3 to 5 years. Long term is anything over 5 years. So basically, when you put your money in 3 different categories, then you know what the money is for. And I am saying that you need to have a plan. You need to have a goal. You need to know what you're working towards so you can separate your money. After you separate your money, then you look at the different risks that you are willing to take. Now, I am going to give you an example about a pool. Think about a swimming pool, and I'm your lifeguard. Yes, maybe I can swim very well, but think about a swimming pool. A swimming pool has 3 different categories, but is one body of water. Understand what I'm saying? One body of water contained somewhere, but it's 3 different categories. Now, your short-term plan would be the splashers. Why do you think people splash? People splash mainly because of fear, or, they don't want to go any further. They soon come back out. That's your short-term plan. That's what I'm saying. You're taking little and no risk. When we talk about little and no risk, we're talking about government paper instruments. Government paper instruments, basically, the government borrow money from you, but they didn't come to you personally. They go to Bank of Jamaica and say, we want to borrow $10 billion. And of course, they come to us, the investment houses, and they say the financial houses. And of course, when you come and say you want a short-term plan, something kind of secured that has little and no risk, then we're going to sell you a plan like that. So it carries little and no risk. And just like how the persons go in the pool and the splash, they are taking little and no risk. And then you're very close to the edge, so you can come back out anytime. So that's your short-term plan. Medium term. Now, medium-term plan, think about you going a little bit deeper into the pool. But while going deeper into the pool, you're thinking that I'm not going to pass the rope, or the water must not pass my nose, or water not to pass be here or here. So the thing is, you're taking risk with limitation. Risk with limitation, meaning you understand that there is some amount of risk involved and you measure it and decide that I will take the risk, but I'm not going to go any further in the pool. What is the risk I'm talking about? Risk is when you really purchase or you buy into the stock market. Now, when you purchase stocks, is really ownership into a company. You're buying shares into a company. Now, every company is in the business to make money. You are in, you invest to make money too. So let us see what kind of situation going to happen from they want to be make money, you want to make money, and for us, the financial companies want to make money as well. Now, you're a consumer, right? I know you're answering. You're a consumer. You have to buy product, goods, and services. You cannot eat the money. No care how you good. It's only town goat alone eat money. It's only town goat alone eat paper. So basically, what I'm saying is that you're a consumer. You have to buy product, goods, and services. You ever think about who really made the things that you really like? Think about Grace. You buy it, you eat it, and you feel good. But what you're doing is passing the money to Grace. So you make it Grace more profitable, and you buy it, you eat it, you feel good, and you make Grace more profitable, and you feel good, and Grace make more money. Now, I am an investor. So what you're basically doing now, I invest in Grace. So here what happens to you now as a consumer. You buy it, you eat it, you feel good, you just feel good. Grace make more profits, and I am an investor, so I share into the profits of Grace, and you feel good. So you're going to move from just feeling good to making money so that you can feel better. So now as an investor, what you're doing is buy it, eat it, feel good, make Grace more profitable so that you can share into the profits of Grace. And that's how the stock market really works. Simple as that. 1, 2, 3, I like to say. Now, Grace makes profit and Grace makes losses too. You remember the corned beef story? You remember what happened? Now, there was a big rumor that Grace corned beef have rotten meat in it. What do you think happened? They took it off the shelf. People stopped buying. People were wondering if this is true or not. But the fact is, Grace was losing money at the time. Now, you are an investor. You share into the profits of Grace, and Grace start to make some losses. What do you think will happen? It simply means that you're going to share into the losses as well. And that is where people start to say, listen to me. I never sign up to make any losses in this thing. I sign up to make profits all the time. But the truth is, it don't work so. It just don't work like that at all. You have to sign up for the good, the bad, the ugly, and the companies make profit and losses. So basically what I'm saying is that you have to analyze Grace now and say, is Grace a good company? Are they profitable? They have good management? Are they international? You think they're going to close down anytime soon? And if your answer is no, they're not going to close down. They're profitable. They're international. They're going to bounce back. So you're basically going to wait until Grace start making profits again, and even more than what you started out with. So I take the time out to explain to you how stock works, because you have to understand now that by going into the pool and going deeper into the pool and swimming up to the rope, you're taking on more risk, and the risk is really associated with buying stocks. Now you have categories where you can buy into stocks and you can buy government paper instruments, and that is basically moderate risk because you don't reach the deep end yet. Think about it. You went from splashing to swimming up to the rope, so you're taking moderate risk. So long term is where the risk comes in. The higher the risk, the higher the returns, and the longer time that you need to spend into the market. Yes, the higher the risk, the higher the returns. So think about diving off into the pool. Now the people who dive into the pool have a different mindset, I want to tell you, because I don't know nobody will just go fling themselves off into the deep end just like that and don't have a plan. So you really start swimming before you get into the pool. Start swimming in your head. Now, in swimming or diving, or if you even think about just diving off into the pool, you're going to do certain things. You're going to learn how to swim, how to dive. You're going to put on a life jacket. You're going to make sure that the lifeguard is there. You're going to put certain things in place because you know the risk that you're about to take. And the risk I'm talking about is buying heavily into stocks. Maybe that you're going to buy directly into the stock market. One purchase the stocks on your own. You trade on your own. So you're taking all the risk on your own. How about if you went to a management company so that they can take the risk for you? So I am talking about 3 different categories of investment in climbing that ladder of success: short term, medium term, and long term. Basically, you need to know what your goals are. You need to understand that your money is compounded. So if you go to the invest, you have to ask, is my money invested? Is it compounded? Yes. Is my money beating inflation? Because if your money is behind inflation, what do you say about that? It's like Chichi eating out board. You're losing purchasing power. And if it is behind inflation, then basically your money is lazy. And we don't want no lazy money. You have to keep on working. So yes, I am promoting stocks. I am saying to you that when you invest in stocks, over time, you're going to make more money. Now, there are 2 ways, maybe 3, but we're going to talk about 2 main ways you can invest in stocks and benefit over time. Now, you have some speculators. You can go and you buy some stocks and you sell it back quickly. Yes, you can. So if you buy stocks we call speculators, you just buy and sell. Most times you do that with the junior stock exchange. So you can go to a stock brokerage house and you have Barita, you have JMMB, Proven. We can name quite a few stock brokerage house, and you go and tell them exactly what you want. And you have to manage it yourself. The question you have to ask yourself is, do I have the knowledge, the skills, and the time to take that risk so that you can ultimately make more money? If you do have the knowledge, the skills, and the time, by all means, go. Do it. But suppose you don't and you really still want to make some money. Then you have to find a company, a management company that is willing to help you and to manage that money for you by buying stocks into the market and put it into a pool fund. So we come back to the pool situation again. So a pool fund is managed by the company who now becomes your lifeguard. You see where I'm going with this? So basically, if you don't know exactly what to do or where to start, you need to find a company that can show you the different types of investment products and their levels of risk that is involved. Now, start again with short term. What is your short term plan? Now, your money must beat inflation all the time, but the truth is you really don't have any short-term plan that will give you rates that are above inflation right now. If you know about it, let me know, because all the rates are going down right now with government paper, with bonds, etc. So you have to ensure that your money beat inflation, but you are not going to do so in a short-term plan. That's why your money is lazy in the bank. That's why it is earning 0.5. That is why your money is probably sitting down in the credit union looking all pretty and nice and not earning or growing or doing anything, and it's lazy. So you have to separate your short term from your medium term and your long term. And that is why I am emphasizing that so much, because we find that a lot of times persons come into our offices and they really don't have a plan. They don't know what they're investing their money for or towards. So you don't know where to start. You don't know how much risk you're to take. Now, there's no investment that carries no risk. So I know you might be asking me, what is it that you can invest in that carries no risk and you're not willing to take any risk whatsoever? Now, if you don't want to take any risk, not no go so. You have to take some risk. That is like you splash it in the pool. You are in the pool. You're taking some risk. Now, if your money is not beating inflation, we're calling that the invisible risk of doing nothing. Now, if you invest in the stock market, and we're still in the pool fund, right? Now, if you're in the stock market, you can mix it up with some government paper instruments. So you can have some overseas stocks, some local stocks, some US dollars investment, and you can also have some government paper. So you mix it up, so you diversify your portfolio. So diversification is key. So you learn something else. Your money must compound, you must beat inflation, and you must diversify your portfolio so you can minimize the risk that is associated with the investment, because risk is in everything that you do. Now remember, the higher the risk, the higher the returns. So if you hear a company say that they're offering you 28.9% growth rate per annum, and another company is offering you 10, and most companies saying 10 or 12, then you have to stop and find out, what is the risk in that portfolio? What is it that you invest in? What are the instruments? So you can determine for yourself if you're willing to take that risk, because risk is in everything that you do. So you have to risk money to make money, of course, because if you don't risk your money to make money, then your money going lazy. It is going to be lazy, and we say no lazy money, by the way, because we don't keep lazy money. Money must work. Now, if you work hard, your money must work hard. What else can you do to earn some more money? It's not one way to make money, not one way whatsoever. Now, you're going to invest your money in the stock market, so you go to the stock brokerage house, and I figure that later on you're going to learn how to trade, right, in the stock market. Right. Somebody said money slavery. That is right. We call it money slavery, money lazy, all of these things. So you can go and you can trade on your own. But if you don't know exactly what to do, you need to start somewhere. And you can start by going to a management company. Now, only a few management companies really exist right now. And when I talk about management, we don't mean just put it down into a unit trust and say it is managed. It means that somebody actually is watching the market every day, know when to buy, when to sell, trading on your behalf, call you up, something else is happening on the market. Would you like to invest in this? Would you like to do that? Or simply put, you come in and you don't know what is it that you want to invest in. And they help to guide you as to how best to invest your money so that you can achieve those goals in short term, medium term, and long term. So what else can you do to make money? So if it's a management company or you go to trade on your own, what else you think you can do to make money? Now we have a lot of entrepreneurs about the place. They will tell you, oh, we can make some money quick and fast. We can buy a taxi and put it on the road and turn the money there over there quick, and then make more money than just invest in it. And I always like to ask my clients, especially the taxi men, so after you buy the taxi, you earn some money. What are you going to do with the money that you earn? And say, buy one next taxi. I say, all right, then after you buy one next taxi, you have two and you earn some more money. What are you going to do with it? You buy one next taxi. I say, all right, then. So you have a whole fleet of taxis and you earn some money, some more money. What are you going to do with it? So that is when you realize, then there's something else that I can do with the money. It's called diversification. You don't put your money in only one thing. You spread out the risk. So you put some money into the stock market that you manage. You get some managed portfolio, and you need some short-term emergency backup money just in case something happens kind of money. Now, what is a medium-term plan? A medium-term plan can be used for a project that you're working on. Don't necessarily going to return some money back to you because it's something that you need to do. Maybe you have a house. Yes, I know some of you might have a home already and you want to fix it up. You want to do some addition, something. But what about your long-term plan? You want to build up enough money so that you can buy your own property, your own home. So investing is not just putting down the money so that you can earn a little bit on it. It means that you have to earn and grow and work and just above inflation. And you know what I'm going to tell you if the money is behind inflation. Now, what else can you do to earn some money? So the taxi man didn't just buy 1 dozen taxi, him have it on the road, him have to earn some money, he wants to put it aside. Now you have to think about retirement. Retirement from as early as 18, from the moment you start working. Now I figure that a lot of you are still in school. Yes, you're still in school and you might be saying that you don't have any money. Having any money, you know, everybody have some money. So what are you going to do with the money? You have to start from somewhere. You need to start with what you have. Because it would be is to move. You can't get over there unless you move. You need to get started. You need to look at the amount of money that you have available to you now. Is it a large sum? Is it a little sum? What can you do to start? Now, again, you might have a savings account at the bank. So I'm not bashing the banks. I'm just saying for long term, you're not earning above inflation, so you're not going to create any wealth from that. You're the one doing the hard work. And by that, I mean, if you want to buy a TV, say a flat screen TV, and it costs $50,000, is your money alone build up and save up to buy the flat screen for $50,000? Investment, on the other hand, is you, yes, you putting down, say, $30,000 and you earn 20 more on the 30 to buy the flat screen. That is investing. Investing is like buying a piece of land and you leave the land and you never do anything to it. That is an asset, by the way. So you buy the land and you leave it and you never do anything to it. But you turn up next 5 years. You think you're going to get the same money that you paid for it, or you're going to get more. Remember, you never did anything to it. You're going to obviously get more because an asset increases in value over time. So you have to ensure that whatever you're doing, that you're buying more into assets than liabilities. Now, some persons might argue with me that a car is an asset, and I'm here to tell you a car is not an asset. The moment you drive it off the parking lot is the moment it starts to lose value. Now, I'm not asking you what you're going to do with the car. I am saying to you that you need to understand that the car itself is a liability. So back to the argument of the land. Now, the land will increase in value over time. Suppose you build a house on it. You'd be adding more value to your piece of land. Suppose you rent the house that you build on the land. You'd be adding more value. Suppose you farm the land that is around the house, you'd be adding even more value. Suppose you put some animals on that land that you farm, that you build, that you rent. Everything that you do is adding more value to your piece of land. That is true investing, and that is compounding, and that is compounding over time. But anytime you start to lose value by not doing anything, like driving that car straight into your garage, every day you get up and you shine it off and you cover it down in the garage, do you think you can wake up next 5 years and get the same amount of money for it? No, because it depreciates in value over time. So what you're going to do, I give you enough information, I believe, for you to climb that ladder of success by understanding first and foremost that your money is lazy if it now beat inflation. So if your money is not working, earning, or growing, then it's lazy and you need to get it invested. Now, investing in what? Your money must compound over time. So you have to ask relevant questions. Yes, a wise man once told me, never use your own money to buy a car because the moment you leave the car mart with it, it depreciates in value. That is true because it is a liability. So you're young and you're probably thinking, as soon as you start working, you're going to buy a car. Nothing is wrong in buying a car, but when you're going to buy something that you cannot afford, that is even worse. How about putting the hard work and the sacrifice now, but you're younger? So that when you get older, you have all the things in place, all the assets, all the right tools in place to earn more wealth, to create wealth, and to build a multi-generational wealth. You know what the Bible says about a good person? A good person, yes, a good person leave an inheritance for their children, children, children. So you might not even be thinking about that right now because you're young. So the fact that you're young and you have more time, it means that if you put in the hard work now, then later on you can afford to be lazy. That's the truth about it, you know. That's what we're working for. So that when you get to retirement, you can relax, sit back, do nothing at all, and your money is still working. And that's what we're all working towards. I long for the day that I can stop working and I don't have to worry and fret that I have to go to work every day to make that money. Instead, I can relax and make that money work for me. Now, that to me is very powerful, very important. That is creating wealth. That is when you know you're very wealthy. What else can you do? What can you put in place? Now, when you get this information, it's not just for yourself, it's to share it with your friends, with your family. When you have children of your own, you start to teach them from an early age that money is very important. This is how you get money, but this is how you create wealth. You need to teach the difference between an asset and a liability. It is very important for you to understand inflation. And you see how much time I talk about inflation? Because I find that persons, no care how much degree they have in life, no care what you study, a lot of persons do not understand inflation, and I can't say it enough. They come to me and they said, okay, I have some money, let us say $100,000, want to invest it for long term, want to get 28.9% growth rate, which by the way is the highest on the market, but I don't want to take any risk. Like serious? So how you expect to get 28.9% and you're not willing to take any risk? It don't work. It don't go hand in hand. The higher the risk, the higher the return. You have to go back to the pool situation again and think about your money in short term, medium term, and long term. So that's basically what I have to say in a nutshell, because I know time is of the essence. So I would like to leave some time for some questions and answers. Right.
All right, so Ms. Parchment, thank you very much for that informative presentation. You know, you gave a lot of information. You gave some interesting analogies, made sure that we know that the chichi or the inflation are gonna eat up money, and nobody wants their money to eat, all right? And the analogy of the lifeguard and making sure that when we're thrown into the deep end, that we will survive. Once we have competent lifeguards like yourself, there to guide us along the way and to save us if the situation arises that we're drowning.
Yes.
So now we're going to have a short entertainment segment, and afterwards people can come back and pose your questions to Miss Parchment.
Yes.
So thank you very much for your presentation, Miss Parchment. And now we're going to have a short entertainment segment from a Miss Trisha Ross. So please welcome Miss Ross to the stage, where she will be entertaining us and giving us a break from that great knowledge that we just, imparted. Miss Parchment just imparted on us.
Okay, well, I look forward to the entertainment section. I don't know if it was me that you wanted to entertain as well, but can't really see. All right, so look forward.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I hope you can hear us. I am Trisha Rose, and with me is Tariq Pierce. And this evening, we'll be, as the host says, entertaining you. So just sit back, relax, enjoy. And if you know the song, sing along and just have fun, okay?
Oh, skanking, grooving, hallelujah. Yeah. Skanking, grooving, help me, Jaja. Yeah. Skanking, grooving, under pressure. Yeah. Skanking, grooving. Under the pressures of life and it tough. No stay down when my time to get up. No matter where they down for stars, strictly up for vibes. No pick it up when the bills and the rent and the mortgage due. When my chalice, when your best friends are gone and it's only you. Turn up the music, skanking sweet. Everybody wanna feel Larry. Forget your troubles and rock with me. You know, feel the reggae music sweet, yeah, yeah. Skanking sweet. Everybody wanna feel Larry. Forget your troubles and rock with me. You know, feel the reggae music sweet, yeah, yeah. For every pain there's a melody. For every trouble there's a harmony. Brings everything together. So make we sing together. And who said life not hard? And every man got their struggles. I'm begging you, help me, Lord, Lord. Help me overcome my troubles. Skanking sweet. Everybody wanna feel Larry. Forget your troubles and rock with me. You know, feel the reggae music sweet. Yeah, yeah. Skanking sweet. Everybody wanna feel Larry. Forget your troubles and rock with me. You know, feel the reggae music sweet. Yeah, yeah. This can't keep till the morning comes. Until the day when my troubles are gone. Hallelujah. We're grooving in a Jaja name. We're grooving all our troubles away. Skanking sweet. Everybody wanna feel Larry. Forget your troubles and rock with me. You know, feel the reggae music sweet. Oh, everybody wanna feel Larry. Forget your troubles and rock with me. You know, feel the reggae music sweet. Skanking sweet. Everybody wanna feel Larry. Forget your troubles and rock with me. You know, feel the reggae music sweet. Yeah, yeah. Skanking sweet. Everybody wanna feel Larry. Forget your troubles and rock with me. You know, feel the reggae music sweet. Yeah, yeah. Bada skanking sweet. Rumba skanking sweet. Bada skanking sweet. Skanking sweet.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys.
That was some great entertainment. I can't dance, and the honest put me in the mood to dance. So big up and thanks for that great entertainment. Well, Trisha, and so first thing to note is that these people are from Mary Sequel and Chancellor respectively, so you know where the talent comes from. Let me not say anymore. You know? So big up, guys.
Yes, right?
That entertainment segment.
No problem.
All right, so moving right along, we'll be having a short segment for questions for Miss Parchment. So just asking Miss Parchment to join me back. So the questions that were sent by an anonymous link, and as well as questions that are posed within the YouTube chat, can be, given some enlightenment by your vast knowledge.
I can answer. All right,
I'm sure you're more than adequately able to. All right, so the first question I have for you is a question from Mr. Davian Sterling, the External Affairs Chairperson of the Community Students. His question is, other than stocks, what other long-term investment options would you recommend that beats inflation consistent?
Right, no. Unless you're going to invest in US dollars, beating inflation can be keeping pace with inflation and not necessarily and create any great wealth. So is it that you want to be able to buy the same amount of bread or twice the amount of bread or the factory that makes the bread? No, stocks is what your way to make more money. So outside of stocks, the only thing I can think of is investing in US dollars. Because right now the bond market is very well low. So we're talking about here and now in this climate with COVID-19. The bond rates are all very low, and unfortunately, they are behind inflation. If you have $1 million and over, and you're investing at BPM Financial Limited, we can invest that at 5% per annum for yes, guaranteed for 1 year. Now, remember, inflation is 4.7, and that's 5%. Outside of that, I'm really not sure what else you can do to beat inflation other than invest in US dollars. Any other questions?
Send me a question. All right. So yes, actually one personal question from me. So a lot of us have been hearing about this forex buzz and seeing these advertisements on Instagram, on YouTube, and etc. People buying cars and all these fancy stuff from forex. Just want to know, from your experience, is it a sustainable means of investment? And is it something that young people should be joining into? Is it worth all the hype that's currently surrounding it?
I'm not sure about the hype. You can make money from it, and I know persons who have made a lot of money from it. But it is really, it takes a lot of time. If you don't have the time to spend, then it's going to be very risky. And the higher the risk, the higher the returns. But are you able to take that amount of risk? And if you don't have the knowledge, the skills, and the time, you hear what I'm saying? It's going to be too much risk. So you can stand the chance of losing all of your money. The possibilities of earning is great. So you need to understand exactly what you're doing, or you have somebody who knows what they're doing, invest the money. But I personally have never invested in it, but I know persons who do it for themselves and who have earned a lot of money. But the hype to say you can just go in and earn it, though, you have to spend time. You have to know what you're doing. The risks are great.
All right, so yes, another question that was shared with us is, as a person with a demanding degree, how is it best that they start investing and start making that approach to earning money at this stage in university? From a student from medical science or a student from science and technology, that their class schedule would not allow very much freedom in terms of research and etc.
So you need a management company. I tell you which management company you need to go to. Now, you need to have somebody manage your money because you don't have the time. And I can tell you about it because I too am studying. And if I were trading in the market, I would not have the time to trade. So my money is under management at BPM Financial Limited. It has been so for the last 15 years, going 16, and that's where I started. I started with only $1,000. And back in the days, remember, $1,000 could buy 13 loaves of bread. So about a laugh off from $1,000. Now that enabled me to move from just $1,000 to 2 to 5 to 10 to 15 over time. And I was able to purchase my home and now start university out of investing over that long period of time. So I am saying that if you don't have the time, let somebody else, another company like BPM Financial Limited, manage that money for you. You start off with what you have. If it is a small sum, start in the Gold Savers Club, build it up, and as soon as you get to $100,000, you can decide if you want to go swim up to the rope, go a little bit deeper into the pool, take some more risk, moderate risk, or you want to dive off into the pool. So there are other companies out there that can manage, but I am sure that BPM Financial Limited, over the 27 years that we have been doing this, will manage the money for you. Yes. So if you can't do it yourself, get somebody else to help you. Simple.
All right, so yeah, BPM seems like the ideal company that will make our money work for us so that we don't have no lazy money.
Right.
So,
The money.
Ms. Parchment, thanks again for your time and, entertaining us and giving us some really great knowledge. I've personally, for one, maybe checking out BPM in order to, I guess, invest adequately into the stock market and among other things. But thank you, Ms. Parchment, and hope you have a great rest of night. So, moving along with the present
Yes,
program.
basically persons who don't invest out of fear of investing. So that's another thing, another point that you need to call me and let me tell you how to beat that fear.
I'll be getting the number from Omar so that I can have a lifeguard with me when I do jump off into that pool.
I'll be your life.
So thank you again, Ms. Parchment.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and I hope to hear from you all. Yes.
All right, so moving right along, our next presenter is someone from Jamaica Stock Exchange, person with years and years of experience in actually stocks and actually teaching others how to make their money work for them, as Ms. Parchment would have alluded to. So Mr. Johnson is the Deputy Group Business Development Manager of Jamaica Stock Exchange, a Senior Marketing Officer, and a Business Development person from the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And I guess tonight he will be imparting us some adequate knowledge, adding on to what Mitch Parchment said on how to build that wealth. And because, nobody no like broke. So I'd welcome Mr. Johnson to the stage and hope that he'll give us quite an informative presentation on that, can carry to the rest of our lives.
We succeed because we are determined.
We are determined. And we are
not that it's a given.
Right. So guess what now? The greatest achievers don't simply sit back and wait for success to come along. These achievers keep moving forward and persevering because they are determined. There's just no getting around it. Persistence is the key to success. You have to be persistent. You can't stop. You can't give up. You have to keep trying. When we persevere, there is nothing, not one thing that will stop us.
Move. All right, so Mr. Johnson, take it away and give us that adequate knowledge that we're so yearning for right now.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks for the invitation. And I hope I can add some more value to Mrs. Parchment's presentation earlier. And she mentioned about the stock market, and I smiled to myself, because as you all are university students, you know that one of the best things in life is knowledge. And when you have knowledge, that can remove all fears because you are able to make more informed decisions. So hopefully, when I am through, I will hope that you would gain additional knowledge, and therefore that will reduce your fear about the stock market. So let me just share my screen. Share screen, best quality.
Good night, Mr. Johnson. I'm not seeing your screen as yet. Are you
I'm,
ready?
I'm trying to share.
Um, Ronaldo, can you just turn off your screen share for me, please?
Okay. Am I?
All right. So you should be seeing a share screen icon at the bottom of your screen.
Right.
Yes. Do you see a blue notification pop up?
All right. So let me go again. You're in on show. I'm seeing your share entire screen, but I'm not seeing my presentation to
All right,
share.
then look for the one that says share application window. It's at the top beside share entire screen. Do you see that?
Okay. Okay.
You see in the presentation now? Are you seeing the presentation now, Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson, you hear me?
What happened to Mr. Johnson's presentation? Oh yeah, so technical difficulties. We're currently trying to sort out Mr. Johnson's presentation. So whilst Mr. Johnson is sorting out his presentation, just like take this time to give a short giveaway from one of our sponsors. Omari, could you pose a question? All right, so this prize will be a gift basket from our sponsor CVJ. So nobody no remember the presentation from Miss Parchment when she gave the analogy man. Me not gonna tell nobody but yeah man. So you can get a nice gift basket from CPJ. I'd answer it in but them now give me the gift basket. Alright, so first person who seemed to got it was a Mr. Jordan Perkins. So big up yourself, Mr. Perkins. You're the winner of a gift basket from CPJ. Representative will make contact with you afterwards in order to give you more information about how to collect your prize. So while the technical difficulties are being sorted out, oh, Mr. Johnson is back. Yeah, man. not hearing you. Seems the mic is muted.
I'll just share my screen again.
All right, great.
Okay. So I'll just go ahead. Can you hear me, and are you seeing my screen? Don't tell me, say. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Oh,
Yeah.
and you're seeing my screen?
Yes, we are.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So as you said before, is that one of the things that we want to do at the stock exchange is to provide information for persons that they become more comfortable with the stock market. And as I alluded to before as well, that the key is knowledge. There's nobody who can predict the market. And therefore, it is just a matter of understanding and feeling comfortable. And Ms. Parchment mentioned some things like your risk tolerance. How deep in the water do you want to go? Do you want to go knee height, ankle height, waist height, head height? And usually the more information that you have to make informed decision, then that determine your method or your risk tolerance level. And therefore you would then determine how deep you want to go in terms of understanding the stock market. So at the end of this process, I will hope you will be able to know the steps to invest in the stock market. And of course, the benefit of owning shares and how the stock market operates. So let's go. So the Jamaica Stock Exchange offers opportunity for companies and individuals to invest in equities. We have two types of securities on the stock exchange, and those are equity and debt instrument. So my concentration today will be on equity. And what is equity? Equity is really the ownership or part ownership of a business. If you guys on Chancellor Hall having a business, usually you have somebody on the hall who is running a truck shop out of their dorm, or maybe running some other little business. And that person may want to grow the business. So they may say, look, we have 4 years to go or 3 years to go. And for persons who are in medicine, may have even a longer period. May say, look, we want to subsidize our tuition or spending money, so we can, increase the business a little. So when Omar started the business by himself, he may want to bring in 2 other friends. No, those 2 other friends are not coming in to eat out the profit, or to eat out what is in the business. They are coming with something, so they are carrying their little much as well. So the 3 persons now are in the business. So what you have is that the 3 of you know, not Omar alone now, the 3 of you know own a share of that business. Yeah. So that is what happens when most business start. The genesis of most businesses start, where you have friends come together or family, and then start to an idea to grow and look at how they can use an idea to make profit, of course, and eventually offering a service or product to serve people in their area or even globally. So the equity in that business is what each person will own. Now, the difference between the stock market and having private equity in this case, I will tell you how that works later on, in terms of how you expand to have additional shareholders. So, as I said before, the company, when you started out, you have 1 person or 2, and then you try to grow that company. You want to increase the number in terms of the cash that you have. So you would want to have your partners bring in their cash. So it's an opportunity for your company, Omar, to own your company, and you're going to raise cash by bringing in additional persons. And that will now become, that's how the company now raise more money in its true sense. But on a larger scale, what the stock market does, it offers opportunity for companies who have a base already and looking to expand. And therefore, what they would do is offer shares or ownership, part ownership of their company to the general public. And this is what we have at the stock exchange, that persons are invested in equity. So you then buy a piece of that company or a share of that company, as we usually call it. So the company will take your money and they will give you part ownership for your shares that you would purchase from them. Now, as an investor, you can only do two things with a stock when you own that share. You can buy and you can sell. And that's what the stock market offers to investors, an opportunity to buy and sell shares. So let's go back to your private, when you started out in the dorm with your shares of your company, Omar. So you have this stock shop you're running out of the dorm, right? And therefore you alone, and then you bring in two other persons. Now, it's hard for you to value those shares. If they want to say, boy, we're in this business now 2.5 years and we're graduating the next month or two, and I want my portion. No, it's going to be difficult for you now to value what their portion is worth. And the stock exchange, this is what the stock exchange offer to companies. So you can imagine a large company, let's look at Wigton Wind Farm, a large company on the Trans-Jamaica Highway, that large company. Can you imagine if somebody wanted to dissolve and get out of that for that partnership? It would be difficult for them to then value their shares. And not only that, they will end up paying a lot of transfer tax and going through a lot of litigation in terms of legal things to do for that. What the stock exchange offer is an opportunity for transfer of ownership through a simple process through the market. So this is where they have an opportunity to buy and sell their shares through the market. And we have what is called a trading platform. Now, the trading platform facilitates the buying and selling of shares. So I heard Ms. Parchment spoke earlier about having somebody to manage your funds. This is where the broker comes into play, right? And I'll tell you further how the brokers work with facilitating the process. So when you own shares, you actually own part of the company. Remember again, your company started off in the dorm, so it's a private company. Omar and two other classmates own that company. So it's a private entity. Now, once you start to offer shares to the public, that company has to change its structure in terms of its ownership and become a public company. And therefore, it offers opportunity for the persons in the general public, both locally and overseas, to buy shares in that particular company. And that's what the stock market offers, for a smooth transition of that ownership between owners of the company or original owner of the company and the general public. So you would have heard recently the mention of IPO, initial public offering. What that means is that the company is offering their shares to the public for the first time, right? And even in recent times, we have a lot of what we call an APO, where you have companies who have offered their shares for the first time through an IPO and offering additional shares. So it's additional public offering, right? So you would hear those terms regular, because a lot of companies now are raising more funds. So they are bringing in more people or taking more money. It's not necessarily more people, because those persons who would have invested in that company in the IPO may find that it is a good investment and want to buy additional shares through the additional public offering. Even though if you miss out on an IPO, you don't have to worry, because that is just where the initial offering takes place. So what we have through that method is a primary market. So you will buy in the initial public offering, you are buying the shares from the company. Remember, Omar and his friends started the company initially, and they are now offering the shares for the first time through an IPO. They are the ones who own the shares, are offering the shares to the public for the first time. So you're buying the shares from the owner through an IPO. Now, once the shares are listed or listed on the stock exchange, then you have what we call a secondary market, where now everybody are able to buy those shares, and the owner of those initial shares are able to sell them to anybody who wants to purchase. So the secondary market is really where the rubber hits the road, because that's where the action is, right? So don't panic if you don't get into the IPO, because the secondary market is really where the action is, right? So always concentrate on the secondary market, because with the IPO, usually there are more buyers than the units that are available. And therefore, you will find that an IPO may open at 9:30 when the market opens, and by 9:31, it is closed. All the shares are gone. And you're saying to yourself, I wanted to invest. Don't worry yourself. Use that same money when it opens on the main on the secondary market. That is the time that you can also purchase the shares. Now, you will hear I'm using shares and stock. Those are interchangeable, right? Same thing. So what we offer two types of shares on the market. We offer what is called a common share or ordinary share, same thing. Now with this ordinary share, which 99% of the companies on the stock exchange offer ordinary shares, right? Or common share. With that said, you as an ordinary shareholder, you have certain rights, right? You have a right to go to the annual general meeting, which is mandatory for all listed company to hold an annual general meeting within 18 months after the year ends. And as a shareholder, you have a right to go to that meeting. Now, that is a meeting where you have an opportunity to ask the directors, the CEOs, and anybody at the top, any question that you want to ask. And the simple reason is that because you are a part owner, they have a right to report to you, right? So that is critical and very important. And I'm sure some time ago you would have heard about where ordinary shareholders would have at a general meeting would insist that there are certain decisions the company makes in terms of their welfare or in their interests. So it's a strong voice and it's a strong group and important event to attend. I must also say that it doesn't matter how many shares you own. Let me repeat, it doesn't matter how many shares you own, you only have one vote, right? So Mr. Lee Chin may own billions of NCB shares. If he comes to an annual general meeting and he has a vote, he only has one. So if you own only 1,000 shares, you have one, he has one. And that is how it works. So you have a right, voting rights, and it's a very strong right to have, and it must be utilized. However, with the ordinary share, your dividend is not guaranteed. A dividend is paid after tax, out of after-tax profit from companies. It's not guaranteed, but I must say that all listed companies have a dividend policy.
All right, so we're currently sorting out some technical difficulties. So Michael Jam seems to have an issue with his internet. I think all of us have that experience with Flow, and isn't it? So in the meantime, just prepare your questions for Mr. Johnson. and be prepared to answer more questions for giveaways. Another gift basket from CPJ and a jersey from 876 Kids. So all on the football fans, whether on a Man U, Real Madrid, Barca fans, they can just message the question them. Make sure you pay attention so that after the presentation you can be adequately informed to answer the questions. I had personally asked if I could get the jersey, but I was told no. But so hopefully somebody else can get it and give me a bus for Man U jersey. So Man U fan, make sure so I get the question. To everybody. So now we have a short item from Mr. Ramon Wallace, the Chancellor Hall Choir President and a man of black eye. And let me tell you, this young man is a very talented individual. So yeah, man, women, make sure say on every race to this. Ramon, take it away.
Yeah, man, respect. Yeah, man, so I have two original pieces I'm gonna do. Start off the first one called Let Go. Let go of all the fears you hold, the beating down your soul. No more, let go. These things that hold you down, your life needs full control. No more, yeah, we want it back. Freedom, we got that right here in our backs and our pockets. Let me relax, live life to the max, yeah. Cause got it back, so no one can stop it. Yeah. No one can stop it. Smart Talks. When you're lost alone and you're looking for someone to find you, and the mirror tells you all that's there for me is me. Yeah, yeah, I've called and called no matter how hard I try to. That is sleep for me to truly be free. Mirror talks to me. I need someone to hold. Choose you. Mirror talks to me. I need you to be bold. That's just me. I be like that. Oh no, what need is for it. I'm trying to stay, but we all go back to forgetting what this mirror trying to say. I apologize for making the same mistake twice or 100 times. But in life I say that you are alright, at least half the time. But I'm glad to say you are forgiven all the pain I'm living with them. Such a shame I should have written you to say how I was feeling. But you too. Your word talks of me. I need someone to hold. Your word talks of me. I need you to hold. Just me. I don't feel like that. Oh no, what it is for it. Now we're trying to stay, but we all go back to forgetting what this mirror trying to say. Why do we all forget love? Why do we all forget love? Let's slow down and be in love. Let's slow down and be. Mirror talks about me. I need someone to hold. Choose you. Mirror talks about me. I need you to hold. Just me. Yeah, man. Respect.
Big up Ramon. Talent. I want to tell you about the. I don't know if me biased personally, but you see these young men from Chancellor, you see the talent that them young people they come with, and they're not normal. Big up yourself, Ramon, our choir president and man of the greatest Black and Chancellor Hall.
Black eye.
Speaking of Chancellor, I see a multitude of individuals that check in and tell me say, Hall F checking in, you start checking in. Some just want to check in, want to know who they're here, so that the massive can come out. I mean, no say enough Chancellor man on the live. Just you check in and give your feedback how you're feeling about this event so far. You learn, please tell me so I learn, because that's the main focus of this thing. So me I check in who and who. I see Vanessa from you start checking in. Oh, Gil Treasure, big up yourself as well. Just say Gil Treasure, Vanessa, big up yourself. Said during this short period, it's going to have to take this time to give another giveaway from our lovely sponsors. This one will be a gift basket sponsored by CPJ. Oh, Taji, big up yourself checking in. Mary Sequel, Sisters of the South, the second hall on UWI campus. Only other hall is Chancellor. But short question. So hope everybody was paying attention earlier and can give me an adequate response to this question. So this question comes from Mr. Johnson's presentation. And my question is what are the types of securities? Okay. What are the types of securities that Mr. Johnson have alluded to earlier in his presentation? The first person to answer this effectively gets a gift basket from CPJ. So let's check in and let me know the responses. Well, I see David said debts and stocks, but that's not what Mr. Johnson has said in his presentation earlier. That was not the exact wording he would have used, so can try again somebody else. Equities and stocks. Yes, so Taji is the first person to get it. So big up Taji on being the recipient of our second gift basket for the night. Mary Seco, massive coming in and checking in and getting the prizes. So I've been informed that Mr. Johnson is trying to log in back. Apparently he had a Wi-Fi malfunction. So stay tuned as he will be checking in back shortly to continue updating us on what we should know about stocks and how to best plan for our financial future. How to get that wealth, isn't it? It's a compounding wealth seminar from Chancellor Hall.
They just come up a while ago.
Yeah, man, Mr. Johnson, welcome back. So, seems you had net issues.
Yeah.
All right, so you can start sharing back your screen and finish up where you left off.
Yeah, you have to tell me where it's off.
I mean,
you tell me where I left. What was my last thing you got from?
You weren't at.
Sorry?
You're a primary and secondary market.
Okay. All right. So the primary and secondary market, as I said, provides opportunity for you if the primary market, which is usually the time when a company will offer your shares for the first time to an IPO, you can get the same shares on the secondary market. That is when it's on the general public now are able to trade. That's the particular stock. We offer two type of stocks on the exchange: a common share, which allows per individual owners of that share a voting right, but they don't have, the dividend is not guaranteed for that owner of those shares. However, with the preference shares, the dividend is guaranteed, but you don't have any voting rights. And as I said earlier, dividend is paid by companies from their after-tax profit. And for the preference shares holders, they have first call on the company's profit. What are the benefits of owning shares? There are three. What is called a capital appreciation, which allows when your stock price move upwards, then that is capital appreciation. So if you buy a stock $1 in 2018 and in 2020, that stock is now $10, your capital appreciation will be $9. Now, that appreciation is, as it says, capital appreciation. It's not cash in your hand. When you sell that stock at $10, then you have that capital gain. Now, remember, I said that companies pay dividend from their after-tax profit. Dividend is paid to shareholders per share. So if one person has 1,000 shares, they will get the dividend paid times 1,000 shares. If someone else have the same share or the same company, they will and have 10,000 shares, they will be the same amount, whatever that dividend is, times their 10,000 shares, and the rest is in same movement in terms of the number of shares you own. Now, that share, that dividend can become a part of your savings. Persons use it to pay their loan. Persons use it to pay their mortgage. So, as students, if you invest in stock immediately after you graduate or just before, depends on the number of shares you own and the dividend that is paid, you can make that payment as part of your student loan repayment by having it go into a specific account or a student loan account or to the bank, right? So we have what is called a mandate. A mandate is really an instruction form that you sign, instruct the company that is paying the dividend to pay that money or transfer that money to a particular account. Companies have different dividend policies as well as different dividend percentage of their profit that they pay. Some companies pay dividend quarterly. Some companies pay dividend semi-annually. Now, what are the benefits of a stock market? Create employment, increase productivity, economic growth, and saving option. So let's look at a simple scenario. In 2008, when the junior market started, Access Financial had 4 companies, 4 branches island-wide, and they were the first company to list on the exchange junior market. Currently, they have 18 branches island-wide. So let's do a simple math. If each branch, when they started, there are 10 persons that operate each branch, they would employ 40 persons. Now, if they have 18 branches using the same 10 persons, they will have 180 persons employed. So you see where the employment comes in. And currently we have, I think, 42 companies on the junior market. The main market is the same, as long as they stop the companies that comes on the main market continue to grow and expand, then clearly you're going to need additional workers and therefore increase employment. And remember, if Access now increase their branch to 18, they would have had 14 branches. Now in each branch, let's say you would need furniture, you would need computers, you would need additional stationery. So the companies that manufactures those components would have to increase their productivity in order to supply the needs of these companies. So the economic growth will come through greater productivity. And of course, if persons are working, it is expected that they will have a little bit more savings, a little more money to invest, and therefore the spin-off in terms of the benefit of the stock market is a fulsome impact on the economy. Currently, we have 90 companies listed and 127 securities. Now, the difference here is that one company can have more than one securities, usually in the form of a preference shares. So a company like JPS, one company, but they have 4 preference shares. JMB, one company, but have 4 preference shares. And there are a number of companies that exercise the opportunity to raise additional capital via preference shares. We operate 4 markets: main market, a junior market, US dollar market, bond market. So for the US dollar market, we have companies that persons can buy and sell shares in US dollars. Now, this is some information that I'm sure all of you are aware of, that the Jamaica Stock Exchange was the best performing company in 2015, 2018. And last year, 2019, we were 4th overall. So the question is, what makes us the best performing or the number 1 performing exchange in the world? The index, the movement of the index over the 12 months period. So Bloomberg, that tracks 94 exchanges across the world, including the New York Stock Exchange, Hong Kong Exchange, Chinese market, Brazilian exchange, all of these large exchanges. We at the Jamaica Stock Exchange index outperform all those exchanges for the 12 months period between January 1st to the 2nd week in December. Now, how do you start to invest? I heard Ms. Parchment spoke about a number of things, and those are some of the ways. But in order to start with her $1,000, and as she said, don't look at her $1,000 16 years ago, because it could have bought a dozen bread. So the value of the money is not important. The important thing is to start. And for everything else, we must make a sacrifice. I sat in an interview for the JSC scholarship this morning. And the 3 candidates said to us, we have to make a sacrifice. Our parents have to make a sacrifice to pay our tuition fee. And therefore, we are at the university. So I said to one of the candidates, so what are your plans if you are denied a student loan and you are not awarded this scholarship? And she said to me, sir, we just have to make some more sacrifice because I'm not dropping out and I have 2 years to go and I have to finish. So there are some sacrifices that must be made because most persons don't have cash lying around waiting for something to do. Next important thing is that start small, because sometimes when you're not sure what you're doing, it's best that you said, remember, again, Ms. Parchment used some good examples. You want to go in ankle height, you know, if you're not sure. Then when you're getting a little bit more comfortable, you know, you can push off of the water you're going to swim. You can go knee height. And then by the time you reach waist height, it's more comfortable, you know. So take it small and have a plan. Buy over time. Don't buy the stock at the IPO when it just ready for the market and say, okay, I have some shares and that's it. No, if you think the investment and the company is doing well, buy again over time. The price will change. That doesn't matter. You will buy over. You will have what you call an average price investment. So the first stock you bought at $2 and you buy again a year later, that same stock, which is now $5, you would have gained $3 on your $2 before, and then you're looking to gain more on the $5. Read and research. I remember the moderator said somebody from medicine may not have the time, and Ms. Patrick made a good recommendation that get somebody to manage your money. But I'm sure you would all agree with me that even though somebody is managing your money, you want to have some idea of what is happening. So most of our brokers have what is called a research department. So they would do the research on all the companies listed on the exchange. They will send out simple information, analyst information that you can read in your spare time. So you have an idea understand what is happening. So you can instruct your broker if you see an opportunity or stock that you said, I always want to buy the stock, and the reports are that it's a good stock to buy at this time. Consider the environment. There are times, and now is a good time to look at what is happening. Since March, when COVID hit Jamaica, there are a lot of things that has happened. The market went down significantly, and that's a good time to buy. Because I'm sure when you graduate and you're saying, okay, I'm looking at a car, and you go to the used car dealer and he's selling a Pro Box, and you said, boy, the Pro Box look nice, and that's what the problem I can afford. But then when you check motor sales, they're probably selling the Pajero at this a little bit more than the Pro Box. So you're going to go back to the first one and say, boy, I'm going to make a sacrifice and purchase something that is more reliable because this is new, and therefore you get a better deal. And why is that so? Because of the pandemic and nothing that's selling, and they decide that we have to give some discount and we're having sale. So look at the condition, look at what opportunities there are, and then make an informed decision. So how do you start? You need a broker account. A broker account allows individuals to buy and sell shares on the stock market. The broker provides investment advice. They take your instruction and they execute your trade. Now we have 13 brokers. Are there any names here that you are not familiar? I'm sure you have seen or heard some of these names before. Now, a broker is like, I always call it a car park or a car mart. So there are different models, but the utility is the same. So they will take you from point A to point B. It may not be the same comfort, may not be at the same price, but the objective is to reach your destination. All of these will take you to your destination if you want to invest in stock. It's just that some of them start amount is greater than the other. So we have brokers here that will start with a low as $0. So you can open a brokerage account with $0. All you do is fill up all the papers and send them the necessary thing. I mean, I will tell you this, one of the persons I interviewed this morning for the scholarship said, he wanted to start a broker account, but he doesn't have any money. And he doesn't have any utility bills. So I said, okay, I'm going to give you, and all of you can take my advice to him. I said, okay, what you need to do, you need to get an envelope, put your name and address on it, seal it, take it to the post office and post it to yourself. When that mail comes back with a postage stamp, then that you can use as your proof of address. So that's one. Also, we have a broker here that needs no money to open a brokerage account. So you can solve your problem by opening a brokerage account without any money and still have a proof of address, right? So when you have a proof of income now, when you start to work, then you can start your brokerage account and invest in the stock market. Now, part of my presentation is really to talk about the future and investing in the future. Now, these are the top 20 best perform companies on the exchange at the end of 2018. So let me pick a few and tell you what happened if you had bought those stocks 5 years ago. So let's look at Burrito. Burrito ended 2018 at $53. 5 years ago, Burrito was selling for $2.25. 5 years ago, 2013. Diamond Trading ended 2018 at $2.53. 5 years ago, it was $2.05. Salada 5 years ago was $10.39. 2018, it's $35. Palace Amusement ended 2015. Started 2015 at $66. Let's go again. Palace Amusement started 2015 at $66, and it ended 2018, 5 years later, at $1,450. So you see, over time, NCB started 2015 at $20. NCB ended at $149. So it shows that over time, the movement of a stock price will fluctuate. But in the long run, history has shown that it outperforms all investment instruments, right? So investing in the future, for the future, the stock market is a good instrument because you're not doing it for the short term. So you want to invest for the long term, right? So while you're at work, your money is working for you. No more lazy money, right? And there are two things you must understand about money. It never gets tired, and it multiplies very quickly, right? So it is important that you start small, buy over time, and read the researches that are available, right? And also your broker is important because you can only purchase shares by the stock market through a broker. So liaise with your broker. I heard Ms. Parchell say she has somebody who manages her funds for her. So do I. I work at the stock exchange, but I have a broker that manages mine as well. And you look at your risk tolerance. That simply means how risky you want to be. And young people, you have time on your hand. So you can take a little bit more risk to achieve your goal. That's it. Thank you.
Mr. Johnson, bless up, man. As in, well, you may have an interest personally in investing in the stock market. So, what you've presented tonight really gave me some insight on, I think, some of the best stocks and what really happens when I do invest in the stock market and how it grows over time. And I heard you mention some brokers as well. I think my personal favorite is Victoria Mutual Wealth Management. I'm a VM ambassador, so I don't know if that's a bit biased.
No, I mean, you have to do, if you're comfortable, one of the things you want to do, you want to be comfortable with your broker. And you can have more than one. As I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
All right, so I hear that. So VM Wealth Management is the broker to go. All right, so there are actually a few questions posed before the seminar would have started, and anybody else who has a question can comment in the YouTube, but in the comments below. But one of the first questions that was asked is, well, you would have presented the highest earning stocks within a fiscal period, but this person wants to know, how do they know what is the best stock to purchase? What is there any predictor, like any guideline that will show this company may be successful, this may be a worthwhile investment of my money, and this may be a worthwhile investment of my time, because it's a long-term marriage, it's not something short-term.
Right. So, sure. So there are some basic indicators. First, you want to ensure that the company is having year-over-year profit. It's profit year-over-year. And you don't have to go anywhere to know that. If you listen to news, which probably a lot of young people don't listen anymore, but if you listen to news or local news, you'll hear it every day. As a matter of fact, I was listening the 5 o'clock news before I came on, and Jamaica producers made significant profit. You would have watched the news last night and heard that First Riches has their best year ever in a pandemic. So you can imagine. So the information is right there. And so you want, that's one. You want a profitable company you want a company that pays dividend regularly. Because remember, dividend is one way in which you make money from stocks, right? And you also want to look at a company that is growing. You hear they're going into different markets, expanding beyond our shores and in multiple countries. So they are earning US dollars, so they have a steady cash flow and growing and expanding. So those are some of the basic things. And I want to also point out, I mentioned in my slide, look at the market condition. Everybody heard about a couple of years ago, the logistic hub. How many persons would have invested in the Kingston Wall? That's where that logistic hub would impact. And let me tell you, let me go back to my slide, if I can bring it up. I think I had Kingston Wharf on it. Kingston Wharf ended 2018 at $70. 5 years ago, Kingston Wharf was at $5. So you look at these conditions, look at things happening around you. These are good triggers to see if a company that is there that you can invest in. So these are some of the basic things. You don't have to go into the technical and the analysis and all of those things. The broker will then guide you when you say, I've heard this company every night on the news and the Grace Kennedy. I'm not giving financial advice to buy which stock, but I'm just saying these are some of the examples.
Very useful information. But also something else to note: the Jamaica Stock Exchange. You guys can check their website so that they're up-to-date information about the various stocks and how they're performing. So well informed about what to invest in. Even some of our social media networks like Twitter, Instagram, you can follow various pages that give you adequate information and updates about the best stocks to invest in. So yes, so one quick question from you, Mr. Johnson. Final question. So What's your recommend baseline in terms of money to invest when you're starting to go into the stock exchange?
That depends on the individual resource, because what I may call small for you may be large for someone else. So the rule of thumb is invest what you can at any particular time. But critical, regardless of how much you can invest at any particular time, invest over time. So you continue to invest. You'll get bonus probably once a year. And therefore you would want to say, okay, I want to invest 5% of my bonus each year. But that means it's just one time for the year you're going to invest. So, you get some extra money. I know most of you, when you leave university, you're going to have multiple sources of income, doing all kind of things with your new skill and new, wealth of knowledge. You look at opportunities, because most places, the one income is not able to reach and cover your goals. So invest what you can, but most importantly, invest over time, and also diversification. We have different sectors on the exchange. We have manufacturing, we have banking, we have tourism, entertainment. You can spread it across real estate. I heard Miss Parchment spoke about real estate. You buy the land, you put it down, and it price appreciate. We have companies that are heavily invested in real estate, both locally and region and overseas in the US.
All right, so at this point, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Johnson. You actually gave me a lot of knowledge, something to work off for my future, because this isn't knowledge just for now, this is knowledge for the rest of my life. And this is something I will take to heart. And I really hope that everybody else who is tuning in right now also learned and got something from a very informative presentation. And, I'll get your contact information from Omari so that I can get some advice about stocks myself.
No problem. And sorry about the internet and all of that technology.
There's something you have to live with in new virtual reality, man.
No guarantee, my friend.
So next on the agenda is, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be giving away another giveaway from our sponsor, 876 Kits. So hoping you're ready and we're paying attention so that you can be adequately informed about how to answer this question. All right, so my question comes from Mr. Johnson's presentation. And my question to you all is, what are the benefits of owning shares that Mr. Johnson would have alluded to? So first person to answer gets a prize from 876 Kits, a jersey. Sure, no want a jersey, especially my new fans. I see some people getting close to it, but they don't say everything that Mr. Johnson would have said. Oh, yeah, man, somebody got it. Vanessa Savvy. Capital appreciation, dividend payments, and saving option. So big up, Vanessa. You are the winner of this prize. Oh, Mr. Johnson said he will also add 2 prizes. So I guess I have the ability to ask more questions. Or Mr. Johnson would like to ask himself. Let me see.
Um, yeah, I will ask one. What are the, what impact the stock exchange as an organization on the economy? Just name three.
All right, so somebody just answered creates employment, increase productivity, economic growth, and another option for saving.
Okay,
Are you
great.
satisfied with that? All right, so that's Vanessa Swaby again. Guild Treasurer,
Vanessa,
sweep up
we have to
these.
ban you now, Vanessa.
All right, Vanessa, now I get no more. So the next question, Mr. Johnson, and Vanessa, sorry, you're not allowed to answer.
The next question is, we operate 4 markets. Name them.
Somebody answered main, junior, and US bonds.
US what?
Main, junior, US bond, us, US bonds.
Oh, US. Okay. US and all right, cool. That's correct. That's correct.
All right, sir.
So I
David
will make
Thomas, that's
arrangements with Omar and Mrs. Nugent for the prizes. All right.
all right. So thank you, Mr. Johnson. Thank you again
And
for
this
your
wasn't
informative
Vanessa. And this wasn't
presentation.
Vanessa. This wasn't
No, this
Vanessa.
was the Vanessa. Even though it's a friend of Vanessa's actually, so I'm not sure if she was the one who gave him the answer. It's David from Louis, sir.
All right. That's okay. Thanks again
All
for
right. So
having me.
thank you, Mr. Johnson. Yeah,
No
man.
problem.
And thanks for the informative presentation.
You're welcome.
All right. So moving right along in the. So moving right along in our program. So now we will have the vote of thanks given by Mr. Omar Brown, the conceptualizer of this initiative. I think everybody is really grateful for those who tuned in, those who watched, and those who would have been adequately informed by this great initiative that Omar started out. So big up yourself, Omar, and take it away. Your time now.
Good night, everybody. Um, I just like to start by saying that it's an immense pleasure to give the vote of thanks tonight. First, I'd like to thank our presenters, Mr. Johnson and Ms. Parchment, for taking time out of their busy schedules to come and impart wise words with us. I'd also like to thank the planning team because it wasn't a solo job to do this, right? So thanks goes out to persons like Jamoy, Crooks, Ronaldo, Gale, Shaquille Ramsey, Trevon Thompson, Linval Horton, Demoy Calvin, everyone that assisted in this. We're really thankful and We appreciate the contribution that you have made. Next, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Creamy, Caribbean producers, Jamaica, and 876 Kids. You can just follow them on Instagram, show them some love. That has really helped us to execute this event. And finally, but by no means least, I'd like to thank you, our audience, for viewers, for coming and staying for the entire event. Wouldn't have been a success without your participation. We appreciate it. Thank you. Now, just follow us on social media at Chancellor Hall to see what other initiatives that we'll be planning for you guys. Next is a Men's Empowerment Forum that will be coming up next week in honor of International Men's Day. Just follow us on social media, and thanks again, guys, for coming out to this event. Over to you, Javine.
Same man, Omar, big up yourself. Thank you for inviting me to be the host of this event. Really grateful for the opportunity, and I'm sure that everybody learned something. So, everybody who tuned in, thanks to have you all. And listen me, I think we all learned something great today. So, listen me, learned how to stack the bricks, isn't it? So, big everybody. And Omar, your time to close off now.
Your friend, digging.